Hey guys, oldcrazyeye here. I wanted to show you today. I've been working along with Kevin, aka Sam, on doing an Auto Z mod for the Ender 3. Kevin's mod works, um, except for some people their x-axis can't reach enough, so we're moved it to the y-axis, to the bed frame. There's other mods out there for the switch wire that allow you to bolt it directly to the bed frame via drilling holes, tapping, stuff like that. Not everyone has access to drills, taps, etc. So today we'll show you how we're going to clamp onto it. That's going to be using the Voron Sexbolt designed by Hartk PCB. I also have a Mellow one here. Same thing, same board inside, just it's SLS printed, um, and the bolt isn't fastened in this one, but still does the same thing. Both of them do the same thing. So, but I will go with this one since I have this one printed and it's got the mean face on it. First, we have a clamping design. The clamping design here, it takes each side takes three M3 heated inserts. Install the inserts. Make sure the surface is smooth. Make sure you get over here, either hit it with your utility knife file, whatever. Make sure the inserts are in all the way. Make sure they're smooth. They will only go in so far. The spacing and the plastic on this side is to stop from pull through when you tighten them. The front two come in at the top. This is the bottom bracket right away. The first two come in at the top. Push those in. Those are also stopped. That's the bottom bracket. The top bracket, same thing. You have three M3 inserts. Make sure they're in and flush. Make sure it's nice and smooth here. The way that'll work, it will go on a bed like that. So each one of these is going to take three M3 by 6 button head screws. Um, you'll install those. Then you have your mounting bracket for the Sexbolt itself. Um, that's where the Sexbolt goes on. There's a backer in here to catch those screws. A couple more M3 inserts. There's a little hard to see. There's a little guide in here that'll allow you, that keeps this backer in place a little better. And then, so you're not fiddling with a hex nut and a, a bolt at the same time. There's a little wing nut with an insert. Put it on there this way you have something to hold on to while you're tightening. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take this bed off. Get this bed off of here. And then we can go ahead and test the clamp design. I did manage to work on one more design just in case this one didn't work out. You gotta get your hands a little more dirty, not much. It involves removing your back two bed carriage bolts. Those are currently, I believe, M5 by 30s. If you're still running a stock bed carriage with wheels, you might need to upgrade those screws to M5 by 35s because we're going to be adding a couple of millimeters of clearance on top of that. I'll show you that one here in a second as well. Finish getting these bed screws out of here. Always fun taking the bed off, then have to re-level it again later on. Alright. Make sure you don't lose your springs. Lift that up. And just go ahead and set that aside for now. Oh, again, don't lose your springs. Alright, so there you go. That's our carriage. We're going to go ahead at first. We're going to pre-start our M3 by 6 screws on the clamps. So go ahead and get them just started. Just so you're not sitting there fiddling with this as you're trying to put it on. Just about flush. Not sticking through, but, you know, close. It's 3 on each one. Bottom piece. We'll get 3 more. Now also, this purple clamp isn't the final design. So here's the final design. This red clamp right here. And as you can see, this red clamp, it's a little shorter. It's a little shorter than the purple one by about 5 millimeters. The reason for that is on some people's units, people's printers, you're going to stick a little too far back behind the Y. Some people might not be able to reach it. I could reach it. I had moved my Y-axis up. If you don't move your Y-axis up, I can't guarantee that this one will work. But this red one here is a little shorter. Only issue is the guy who designed this, me, is a dumbass and made these holes too big for the heat inserts. These holes are set for socket head caps. So I need to adjust that, and then I'll reprint that. I can't reprint the ABS right now because ABS printer's right here. Other printers are PLA, Petchy. So there's that. So now we got all 6 of our bolts in. So now we're going to attach these 2 pieces together. That'll just be 2 M3 by 12s. That goes up in through the top. They go in through the top here, and then it'll go into the bottom. Let's see here. Oh, different size. Alright. Get that guy in there. You don't need to go super tight right now. This is what's just going to help hold the clamps together on the front of the back of the carriage. Okay, so it appears that I misplaced an M3 by 12 screw already. Had them all sitting here, and I went and lost it. That is not great. So let me reach over here to my miscellaneous screw bin. See if I can pull one out real quick. I think I can. I should be able to. There's only about 100 other screws in here. M3 by 12. I think I got one right here. Let's see. Yes. Got it. Let's get this one installed. Now, one thing you got to be sure of as we're doing this is that these socket heads here, they have to recess in. If they don't recess in, you're going to get caught up on your arm here. It's not going to be able to spin or rotate, any of that fun stuff. So just make sure that they're recessed, and also that they're not sticking out the backside. If they're sticking out the backside, you need shorter screws. And that one is too long. That is not a 12. Sorry. And I found the 12. I cleaned up some threaded inserts I had on my desk a little while ago, and apparently I've cleaned up the M12, the M3 by 12 along with it. So, sorry about that. There we go. Now we can put the right screw in. This should go much better. Now, mind you, I haven't fully tested this either. I haven't done any of the software end of it yet, which should go fine. The ones that Kevin implemented when he did his design will work with this as well, along with Protoloft's Mac or script rather. That should be pretty easy to implement. But for now, the big challenge is making sure the hardware end of it works to make sure we can get this to go with this. So now we have this ready to go. Nice gap there. You don't have to tighten these all the way yet. Let's slip it on first. So the lip here is your bottom end. This lip goes towards the bottom. So here we go. Loosen this up a little bit so we can slip this on. Now we're going to go ahead and just slip that right over to bed. There you go. You kind of want to eye up here with your wheel. Go ahead and take your wheel, kind of eye up over the bottom of the hole to make sure you're not going to hit the mount as you're putting it on there. Okay, so I look good. You want it close. It's designed to be close because otherwise you're going to have issues with running into your Y end stop as well. So, alright, so that looks pretty close. That looks good. Now go ahead and actually, you know what? Let's not snug those ones down yet. Let's go ahead and turn a couple of these just until they're touching. Alright, that's starting to touch. You'll know when it's starting to touch. You'll see the plastic raise. Okay, that's starting to touch. That's starting to touch. That's starting to touch. Alright, check to make sure your wheel's still good again. You'll have clearance to be able to level your bed. Alright, let's go ahead and roll the printer backwards some so we can go ahead and tighten those other bottom ones. I'm just going to hold this in my hand here for a second. Same thing at the bottom, just get them touching. Just get them touching. Alright, it moved a little bit. We should be able to adjust that, no problem though. Okay, so go ahead and straighten that back out. Again, make sure your wheel fits. Go ahead and let's go ahead and tighten down these front two. Help keep this thing in place a little better. There we go. That's much better, I think. Alright, get these front two nice and tight. Alright, now the test is going to be if we can tighten down these back ones, or these back six, and if it actually snugs onto the plate itself. That's the goal here, is to get this to bite into the plate to keep it from moving. We'll see how that goes. So far, getting kind of stuck. Now, let me flip this on its side again here. I'm going to lay it down this time so I can hold on to the bracket as well. And you can't see that, so let's see here. Alright, tighten this one. Just go slow. We don't want a bracket to slip on us. The screws start getting pressure, they start getting wiggly. reach over and tighten the front again. So far, I'm wishing it was a little bit tighter. But we're going to go ahead and keep going until I think it's secure enough. This is more than likely going to have to print out a ABS at least for everybody, I would think. You might be able to get away with PETG or PETG if you're printing in PLA. If you're printing in PETG, the thing is the bed sits at the glassing rate or temperature for PETG, and if your part is PETG right at the bed level, you might get a little squishy. I can't guarantee that either way, but best bet ABS, ASA, anything high temp. Alright, so that's on there. Let's flip this back over and see how snug it is. Last thing we want to do is get this all set up and then the piece move. That has a little bit of wiggle to it. I'm not liking the wiggle. Let's try tightening some more. Wiggle is still there. Let me take some out of the top here. Wiggle is gone. Alright guys, so it was wiggling. When I tightened down the middle one, it pulled up, kept these ones from going. So for this middle one, I would suggest just get it touching initially. Just get this one touching initially. Get these ones nice and secure. Because what happens is, this thing's nice and secure now. It's not going anywhere. As soon as I tighten down this middle one, watch what happens. I could shift this back around. Actually, now I make it look like a liar. This is actually pretty secure as of right now. And you have to put some force on it to get it to go. The amount of force. Let me loosen this one just a touch. The amount of force these things are going to have on them is going to be very minimal. Alright, so that seems to do it. If you get those center screws right, this thing does not move at all. That is very promising, and plenty of space with the wheel. Alright, so now, the fun parts. Let's go ahead and, let's see, do I have the right size tip on here? I do not. Let's go ahead and put our Sexbolt on the mounting bracket. So again, you have the little nut backer here. It's got two M3 inserts in it. Slide apart up top, slide apart on the bottom. Gives you back, forth, left, right. Then you have up and down here. M3 through the top, socket head. Put your backer in there. There's a slight chamfer there to allow you to put it in without it, falling all over the place on you. So go ahead and take your Sexbolt now. Assembly instructions on GitHub. Just look for Hartk Sexbolt. You'll find it. It's pretty easy. It's literally one piece print. You print the housing. You put the PCB in, bolt, nut. You're good to go. Alright, so let me attach that. You want to make sure the Sexbolt pin is the same side as the grooved slot. Go ahead and get those started. Alright, you don't have to tighten it down all the way just yet. You want to be able to adjust it to your bed. So it does go up and down on that bracket. So now we take one M3 here. when I release this, I'll give the proper sizes for these screws because I don't even know. I just grab from the bin, put them in, see what fits. Um, this would be, well, this is 28, so I must have cut this one. I did. I cut it so it wouldn't go through the back side of the wing nut. I'll update the model. I'll just blow that hole straight through there. This way it doesn't matter what size. As long as you have 25 or above, um, you should be okay. This is the one that's going to actually hold the Sexbolt mount to the bracket. So as you see right there, that's on there. So just drop that bolt through there, and you are essentially mounted. So let's come in, little wing nut again, put that on the bottom. Go ahead and hold that wing nut. Don't tighten it, just get it, enough to where you could kind of wiggle it around. You'll be able to set the depth to it. Now, one thing you have to make sure of is when you do set this where you want it, that you're not going to hit the end stop. If you hit the end stop, you're not going to be looking in very good shape. So make sure you have enough clearance to sneak by the end stop with there. Okay, so now at this point, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set the bed in place without tightening it down. We want to check for clearances. We want to make sure we can get to where we need to get to. So I'm just going to set it back over. I'm not even going to put springs in place. Just get it over the holes for right now. I'm just checking clearances. Okay. So I'm over the holes. Now we want to get it as close to the bed as possible without infringing on anything here. I'm just going to put this back wheel on to make sure we don't turn this in to the point that we're going to hit the wheel. So we don't want to impede on anything going on. Now let's see here. That's going to take a 2-pin JST. So right there looks okay. So anywhere here, over here, we're going to end up hitting the end stop. See, like right there, that's hitting. That's definitely hitting. And I don't know how long my hand has been in the way. I apologize. So we'll turn it about right here is where we'll leave it. And I think that looks pretty good as far as height goes too. Let's see. Let's just put a spring over here so we can guess on the height. Okay. So that's a good guesstimate of what height we have to be at. So now you could at least set your height on this guy. Just roughly above bed level. You don't need to go real high. You don't want to be below bed level, definitely. You don't want to run into anything. The ideal here is for your probe, if you're using a clack, which more than likely, hopefully you will be, that body says lower than a nozzle anyway. That'll touch that button, so you're okay. You just gotta make sure your nozzle isn't gonna dive in your bed or your duct's gonna hit your bed, anything like that. So I'll just bump this up a little bit, right about there. I'll just give it another turn just to keep it in that place. All right. So now I got this where I want it. I'll put that right about there. Move this bed out of the way again. I'll hold on to the wing nut now on the bottom. I'll come in on the top. And we'll tighten this guy down right where we want it. There you go. It's pretty solid. I mean, you can move it if you force it. Don't force it. There's no need to. This guy here. Now we're nice and tight there. Nice and tight there. And essentially, there you go. That thing isn't moving. It's nice and solid on here. Not moving. Buttons pressing. Nothing's flexing too much. Um, we'll have to see how that goes, because you can get a slight flex here, but yeah, I think you'll be fine. As long as we're touching the button, we're good. Let me make sure this is straight here. There we go. Alright, and there you have this installation.